and I'm inspired by all of these.
Powerful mixture of fire and wind at the same time. Thank you. Oh, here you back, my dear.
I'm back.
We were just sharing our elements while you got back. So we were not all quiet, staring at each other.
Wonderful. I don't know what the deal is with the crazy internet this morning.
I just got kicked off too.
You did too?
Yeah, just now. I just got kicked off and then they rejoined me automatically, thank God.
Yeah. Okay, we're back.
Had you finished sharing? I wasn't clear on that, Kana, because
I'm complete.
Had you completed?
We're
okay.
We're good. We're done.
For now. For
now, something else will come up.
Oh yeah. Well, we are skipping along at a lovely pace. It is midday here in Ireland, and I know all sorts of wonderful and weird hours elsewhere on this Zoom. I'd like to introduce and call on our second speaker, which we already had. Was that a sneaky appetizer from Beatrice? Wonderful Beatrice. I can't say enough, and I hope that Beatrice will please speak on and on. I could drink from this wisdom all day. Sorry, that wasn't very factual. Beatrice, will you continue?
I couldn't hear anything. It was like a robot version of Penelope. So I don't know if you invited me to start speaking or I didn't hear anything.
I said you now have to sing a song for us, you know, the favorite song that you have at the moment. No. Yes, of course I did. Please. We're waiting for you.
Okay, well, yeah, it was an appetizer I like getting in contact with people in the Zooms. So while we were waiting, I thought that, you know, we might as well share each other. I live with people from all over the world, but mainly Spanish-speaking people. And we have really cheerful, amazing Zooms where we sing and we do all types of stuff. We laugh a lot, we joke. I mean, we kind of share each other with plenty of abundance. And maybe I'm a bit addicted to that. What I want to share today about weaving, I want to talk about this movement that we are all supporting with our presence, with our energy, with our love, with our trust, fundamental thread, without which it's impossible to weave. I completely agree with you, Kana. What I want to share is how amazed I feel as time passes by on what we are really doing with in this movement, within us, in society. And today I felt we really are getting to a closer, the better version of being a human being in relating to other human beings, because this is really what we are achieving in the movement. Yes, it is about money. Of course, there is a part that is about money, because there is an aspect of life that is material, and it's an important part. But I feel that with the weaving movement, what we are achieving is bringing together at last the spiritual and the material all together and making it into one whole thing, just like life is. Life is a spiritual and material adventure, and Weaving reflects exactly that. Yes, we work with the material energy of money, which relates us directly to our survival, our root chakra, and I find that that gives us a power. Like, for example, I'm going to illustrate what I mean. Yesterday, I was talking to one of my spiritual masters who are not in the Weaving movement. They only are in their spiritual work. And I realized how strong we are in the movement related to other people who are not really anchoring to that root, to that chakra root, and really connecting with what it means to bring the powers of heaven down to earth, the powers of celestial abundance down to earth. And this is what we are doing, actually. This is what we are achieving. It is like a little game. Some people feel that it is less important in their lives than others. For me, it's a priority number one. Weaving for me I spend time in my everyday life with love and with dedication to weaving, because I feel that what we are doing is amazing. We're just transforming not only ourselves through the elements, but also we are transforming the way we relate with matter and spirit, and the way we are getting this together and making it one, making it whole, finding that unity that we really are. When we talk about we are one, it also means matter and spirit is one, is not separated. So we are really managing to do that in the movement. I feel it. Yesterday, my spiritual master was really going through a painful process due to the coronavirus situation. And I realized, listening to her, I realized how in our movement, Weaving movement, in all the lineages, we have kept throughout the confinement since March, such a high vibration, such optimism, really making things happening, making things, we are deleting the impossible.
Yes.
Hello?
Sorry, I was just agreeing with you.
Okay. My sound was not working. So we are deleting the impossible. We are connecting. Look, some people are connecting 3 in the morning. They don't know us. We don't know each other. That is an action of pure love. So we are really getting deeper into what it is to become a better human. Weaving, for me, is really about evolution and expansion, because the movement in each element, and there is no mastery of the elements, because in life there is, the mastery is to be able to flow through everything that happens to you in life. And weaving is the same. You need to open up to be able to flow and accept and do what is required in each element, in each mandala, in each moment that you are weaving, because it is giving you the opportunity to go deeper into your expansion and your evolution. So maybe in your first mandala, the fire was really easy and you had nothing to transmute, but maybe next mandala, you're gonna have to transmute something that is lingering there from, who knows, your ancestor, your grandfather, mother, that is still needs to be resolved. And then you are going to feel, wow, something that you weren't even aware that you were carrying. But that's okay, because the movement proposes that we keep expanding and evolving. So we keep with the movement of life, always in this motion of getting to our best, to my best I, to my best version, to my best human version, to my best, so I can get to my divine version. So yesterday I was in awe after I listened to my spiritual master. It touched my heart deeply, but then I realized, wow, we are doing an amazing job. We are not only relating with each other in a loving, evolving, we are offering gifts, we are looking at each other, we are looking at the reflections, we are keeping up the spirit of life really high, we are deleting the impossibles, we're just doing something amazing. We are really creating a new space, timeless space. You are the proof, those who are here at 3 in the morning, where we can thrive and really get to what we were meant to be and what we are on earth, and do exactly by mixing and getting together the spirit and the matter. We are really doing what we are supposed to do. Getting together, this is called my Mayan Aztec master talked to me about the spiritual gold. And I didn't understand what that meant. I thought that was, at the time, I thought it was some kind of teaching that was, wow, the top of the top. But the spiritual gold is this money that we are cleaning, this energy of money, of resources, this economy that we are cleaning, that we are offering with love, that we are sharing, that is the fuel for our dreams, that is the fuel for changing our lives, that is the fuel for relating to each other in a loving way, in an accepting way. We open up to see our reflection in others. It's like, wow, I think what we're doing is amazing, amazing. Yesterday I was absolutely like in awe, feeling what we're actually doing. And sometimes it's so, you don't know where to start when you decide to speak about the movement. It's like, where should I start? It's so huge and it's so big and we're doing so much. So the elements are a magnificent way to relate to us and to relate to the earth and to relate to nature and to relate to creation. And I love the water element, not because I receive only, but because it talks about what it means to be abundant from a very deep, deep aspect. And I am a very active water. I flow, but I get in touch with all my fires, with the winds. I am in touch with everybody in my mandala because I feel that communication, relating to the other element, empathy, telesympathy, telepathy is also important. So in my water element, I am, just as nature showed me, really overabundant in my communication. And I invite everybody to really realize what we are part of, to really integrate that, especially for the winds, when they receive answers such as, this is fraud or this is scam. Well, it's like saying life is fraud or life is scam. It's the same comparison. So really, I hope that I give a glimpse of the awe I felt yesterday when I realized what we are doing, how lucky we are, how fortunate we are to be in this movement, how protected and how strong we are, and how loving, and that we are really all vibrating into being our best version every day, every time that we connect with what weaving offers. And that is the magic, and that is the greatness of this movement that I really deeply, thoroughly in myself love so much. So I'm complete, and I know I talk a lot. I take my abundant water very seriously. I'm complete.
Bravo. And I second
Don't
that.
ever apologize
Everything
for
that you've said.
Yeah. Whew. I think we need to dance a little bit after that.
Penelope, you're cutting out.
We haven't got quite to an hour yet, but I think maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to just stand up and have a little stretch now. I'm inviting you, so position, no doubt, the earth under your feet for a minute. And just close your eyes and just breathe in from the soles of your feet, making those roots go into the earth. I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm going to say and do it anyway for you. And feel that connection with the earth, with the heart of the earth. And feel those roots come up into your heart. And just breathe that in. Breathe in that thankfulness, that breath of life. And breathe in that joy and love. Giving thanks to all these people around us in this community right here, as well as in the wider community and the widest community of all, out beyond which we can see and know, right back into ourselves, our own community of beingness, of oneness. And another breath, nice and slow and deep, and connecting now with that which is in the realms above, the earth, its sacred partner, the heavens, the cosmos, our ancestors, our future generations, and giving thanks. Deep breath and so much love. And another deep breath for yourself, just to land, to release any attachments, any anxiety. I can see you, anxieties, and thank you for your lessons, and I release them in love. I'm right here, right now in this Zoom, just receiving what is, letting it flow through me. What resonates with me amplifies the good and the love in me, and that which might serve in the future or another time, I release with love as well. And another deep breath, just feeling, remembering those roots, your feet, connecting with those roots above, yes, I meant to say that, and centering in your heart. And when you're ready, you can just open your eyes and have a little wiggle, or keep your eyes closed and have a little, your bones and your muscles and your sinews are sitting still sometimes a lot while your head and your heart takes in all of this. So make sure to let your body get a little bit of movement in, and that might even help all of this come in a bit more. And when you're ready, we're going to hear from our next wonderful speaker.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Penelope, for that. I am really grateful that while I did have to wake up a bit early today, this is what I get to wake up early to. So I've been in this movement a short time compared to many people. I joined, and it came at a perfect time. I've been really yearning for for liberation. I'm currently living in the Dominican Republic, but I was born in New York City, and my family lived in New York City in mid 60s, and like many people in this world who migrate from their countries to other countries that have more economic ease. My family migrated to the United States to achieve an American dream. But as I grew older, I never felt connected to that. It felt like my family not focused on just really taking many risks, being very tired, not spending time with each other. And I really yearned for that. I yearned for connection with my family, connection with other people. And I also yearned just for what it would be like to wake up and see what the day would bring you. And so that's what it is, right? And I'm here with you, and then I will figure out what the day brings me. And that's because I was able to leave my job, focus on my business and my earth projects. I'm a farmer and a vegan chef, and so I work with the land, and I love Mother Earth. I love the land, everything that she does, and the ways that we can be in reciprocity with her if we allow ourselves to return to our true knowing. And so I want to talk today about liberation, and specifically, I want to ground us in the story of the dream weaving loom. The story as I know it is usually a Canadian woman or a group of Canadian women, but it's from the story I have heard is it's a group of Canadian anthropologists who were visiting different villages in Africa and observed the ways that they would use time and money to liberate and free themselves, whether that was through household chores, whether that was through lending each other or gifting other money so they could leave situations that were not serving them, that were not nourishing, and then bringing that to Canada specifically through a 28-day cycle, so that women that were in domestic violence relationships and so that story really just really supported me in grounding in the way that the loom, the dream weaving loom, is about liberation. And while many people would say that this is a risk, I would counteract that with, we take risk every day in the current society. We take risk by investing in the stock market, by investing in a system that promises to us that when we turn 65, all the money will be there. We take risk with putting our money in banks, people we do not know, systems we have lived long enough to see that it would work for us. Systems that don't work for everybody. Let's be honest, it doesn't work for everybody, depending on your gender, depending on your race, depending on your class status. Some needed those differences. And so I'm grateful to be taking a risk, experimenting with people that I get to interact with. daily. That I am collectively in a society that puts so much emphasis on individualism, and that I am supporting other people in their liberation and their freedom, allowing them to realize their dreams, or maybe just having a life where they have time to follow their dreams. The experience I have had with people that I have invited to this movement is because I actually don't know. I have seen my friends scattered brain. I've seen them just tired. I'm so curious to see who they are if they had the time, and they have the invitation, and to see the transformation in them, to see them talk from their heart, because there's so much mud up here in the brain, has been beautiful to see. I think that this loom has given me has been the liberation I have experienced in once fire. Part of being the fire element is doing some internal work and embodying that element. So I was able to burn and transmute some childhood experience. Now she's weaving with me. I am water, she's my wind. And to see her words, her ways of being transformed, her opening up to retirement early, seeing her think about leaving a relationship that's not serving her, has been very important to heal and see and grow more love for my mother. And so I think the movement is not just about economic liberation, but it's about collective liberation, about changing our paradigm, about being honest with all the ways that we interact with systems that don't serve us, that harm us, and saying enough is enough. And I want something, not something new, because this is not new. This is an old technology. This is an old sacred system. Really leaning on divinity and sacredness. Anything that liberation is not just about spiritual connection. So there is spiritual connection with money, and that is something that because I grew up in the United States. It's like there is no liberation in Wall Street. There is no liberation in capitalism, because it was created to create harm and to create hierarchy and to create justify harm, justify violence. And so here we are inviting people to what's possible when they have time and when they have community supporting them in weaving their dreams. So I'll end it there, and I'll say that the other day I to move to my Dominican Republic. My family is so confused as to why I returned. One part. But this is the land that my heart calls for, that I yearn for, that I feel liberated in. And this weekend or this week, I was looking for land so I could purchase and steward. And I'm just so grateful, just so grateful to this movement. And the other day I woke up really, had some things to do with the loom, and I did them. I did a call really early. I worked out, and then I went to the next one. And I started crying because I would have never imagined that I would have been able to do that at my young age, something my mother always talks about doing when she retires. And it's like, I don't want to wait until 70, until I'm much older to experience and live life. I think we all deserve to live life from the minute we're born. And so I'm so excited to have children yet. So when I do have children in my own family, for them to live a new paradigm because of the loom. And yeah, I'll end it there. Thank you. I'm complete.
Thank you so much. Isn't that as, how long have you been in the Dominican Republic?
Days ago, I celebrate my 1 month.
Oh,
Yes.
so it's still kind of new.
With the gifts loom, I was able to pay for all. Yeah, I was able to pay for all my moving expenses, and yeah, it was so easeful. I've never moved with such ease. But that was because of the loom, and also just the encouragement of the women. I remember when the day I got on the plane, I received so many messages. I was crying the whole time because everybody was rooting for me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. I believe that Penelope is at the moment greeting her son from being at his first day of school in high school, I think it is. So let's take a moment and just, are there any questions or comments from what's been shared at this point that anybody feels a desire to ask or share? Nothing yet? Beatrice, I'm thrilled at what you shared, because I feel exactly the same as you have described about the movement. It is much more than gifting. It is much more than just my receiving in the water position. It is much more than collecting a circle of friends across the globe. It really is about our spiritual evolution as a whole planet. I believe that what we are doing here in the mandala is not just a good thing, it is a vital part of our evolution. So thank you so much for sharing that.
And the evolution of Gaia, Pachamama,
Yeah,
also. Because
absolutely.
money is really, for us, it's money, it's what we use to get what Mother Earth produces. But it's also related to resources, how we relate to resources, how we use them, how we feel when we give and receive, what we do with what we give and receive, where we decide to put our energy, our survival energy, how, where. For me, it's clear. My job is to support the dreams of other people. That's my job. I see it that way. That's where I want to put my energy. That's where I want to put my time, because it fills me with, I get so much back. And I know that that through doing that, I am creating a boomerang energy that is embracing, you know, all the amazing things that we feel in society that we deserve only at weekends or only in the summer. And no, my life is an eternal vacation where my job is to support other people's dreams, and that's it. Yeah, and that's how I want to live it, and that's how I live it. And I don't feel bad about, you know, some people say, well, but it's not real work. It is real. It's more real than any other type of work, because you work inside you work with other people, you give of yourself, really, not just because you are asked to, you really give of yourself. You go through the process of others, you support them, you grow with them. Wow, if that's not work, I don't know. But you know, it's and also it's as easy as you want it to be, because sometimes I felt, oh my God, it's so heavy, you know, the weight. I felt that too. But then what is the options? What are the options I have? I can continue in that feeling, or I can shift something in me. There is a belief in me that is making me perceive that way. And when I shift that, then it becomes light again and enjoyable. And I take time for myself if I need to. And I do whatever gives me joy, because through joy, I know I can communicate what life is about, really in its essence. So, I mean, yesterday I had my moment, really like, wow, if we only knew what we are achieving, like, you know, like, it's like living in illumination state all the time. Wow, I was amazed, because we are strong, because we are dreaming, because we are full of hopes.
Yes.
In a moment where everything is crumbling down and collapsing, but here we are, thriving. Isn't that amazing? I think that's amazing. I find it amazing.
Yes, I do too. It is. And here again, I'm saying, I join you in that 100%. It's a beautiful, and I love your enthusiasm. Where I feel the fire energy in you. And this is something that I've really appreciated, because people have talked to me about, well, when I leave the fire and I go to the wind, or when I leave the wind and I go to the earth or whatever, and I go, no. Once you enter, you take the fire with you into the wind. You take the wind and fire with you into the earth. You live and operate in all of those elements throughout the whole process. Yes, our focus is on one element in each of those phases, but they all interweave. They're all connected. And anytime somebody says to me, well, I really wish for peace on earth, or I want peace in my life, or whatever, I go, come and join the mandala. You'll find a whole lot about being in your own peace and creating your peace, and experiencing the power of being, like Isanette shared so beautifully, liberation. I mean, that is a huge key part of what we're doing. And like the history that you shared, Isanette, was you know, in Africa, it really did begin with the intention of creating liberation, and those Canadian women that witnessed how the African tribes integrated that into their way of life and brought it back for their own communities, you know, to create that liberation. That's a whole part of what it's the huge part of what we are doing here. So thank you for your enthusiasm and your words of wisdom. It's been absolutely inspiring. I appreciate it. Okay, any other comments? Ahas, big awareness.
I I would like to say one last thing, thanking I felt the womb, I felt Mother Africa this morning when I woke up, and I asked myself, what am I going to talk about today? Because I never prepare. I allow the spirit to come into the communication that is needed for this time and this group. And today I felt Mama Africa really strongly, and I said, thank you. I thank this area of the planet very, very often and very much. Part of my dream is to be the guardian of land in the 5 continents. It's a big dream, I know, but I know that this is going to be happening because it's already happening. And my first piece of land will be in Africa. And I always feel so emotional and so touched by the gift that these women in Africa gave humanity. Sorry, I get emotional.
Beatrice, thank you. It's true that Africa is the womb of, it's the beginning of creation of humanity in this 3rd dimensional experience. So it's a vital and very important connection that we have there. Okay.
Oh, beautiful, Beatrice. Thank you so much. Hi. Yes.
Is your son home, Penelope?
Yeah. First day of school, first day of high school. So thank you, Beatrice. I just caught the last bit of that and I just felt like, wow, Beatrice is sharing for all of us.
She is. So Penelope, your son is home from his first day of high school?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Secondary school. Yes.
How many children do you have?
Yeah. I've 4. So I have 2 children that are open and curious and interested in dream weaving, and the other 2 children which are very indifferent and nearly against it, you know. So it's interesting, it's like the 2 sides of society. So I look forward to see where this goes. Time, like it is coming, it's coming up to just over an hour now. Does it feel like there's another round to share a little bit more from each of the presenters? Or does it feel like, how does it feel like? Whoever has a good connection, because I have only been getting in and out of the transmission with my connection.
Yeah, I really love the sharing and your experiences, and it's well, I feel very inspired to see that the dream weaving, yeah, that it can be like a job, like a dream job, because it's such a beautiful mission to support other people in achieving their dreams, and I see that people are growing stronger and stronger. Like I see it in my mandala, in my friends that are doing that. I see these transformations, and it's like I really want to keep on this path. It's not easy because I keep encountering different resistances, but it also, I found that in everything that I'm doing right now in life, anytime that I feel some resistance, it's like, okay, this is my opportunity to heal something, and I will not let this opportunity go. So there is no distracting myself anymore. It's like, we are doing that. It is quite intense because like many things are popping up, but it is definitely very much worth it. You know, well, hearing you that you are doing that for such a long time, and I'm doing that for 2.5 months. You know, and I'm super happy to share that. You know, my life is no more in this. Well, I was like never thinking about that dreams are actually, you know, something like something to pursue, you know, like it was always about exploring relationships and how to like have my life more, generating more time for me to enjoy. But right now it's like this new, yeah, like this completely new reality, because it's like, okay, dreams are actually such a satisfying focus. So I'm dropping that to many people that I'm meeting, you know, like planting seeds that yeah, this is helping also so much to detach from so many worries that I had before, because like I'm not giving that much importance to certain things anymore, because I'm giving more importance to dreams, and that this is possible because I already see changes in my life, and meeting happening, and like people showing up, opportunities showing up. So everything is getting into alignment and shaking me into alignment. So yeah, thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jacob. Oh, kitty. I have 2 cats.
And I'm very much open to hearing more. This sharing was very inspiring. So yeah, I'm still here. Still have to do some work. I can listen attentively in the meantime. It is working. It is changing the world for me. What you are saying. So I'm open to hear more.
Perfect. Thank you, Jacob. Okay, any other shares, comments before we go on?
Oh, I want.
Have we heard from all participants?
I really don't prepare
Have we
anything.
heard from all the participants that wish to?
So yes, to thank you all. It's like this is like a resume of many things that happened to me. Aha moments about this weaving of all we are, like all the lineage, the mother and the spirit that are living. So it's very amazing, and it's very simple, and it's very like we are inside this as it's like to notice and in this um, complete transformation. So, whew, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos.
I maybe wanted to thank you all for this inspiring word. It's been a really weird week for me with a lot of crazy energies, and hearing you all talking about this is making my week a lot better. So thank you. Maybe I have a little question because I'm starting to get emotionally also. Because I feel like sometimes in the mandala that I'm in, we have gone through a lot of bumpy rides, and it is not always easy to find a positive energy sticking into it. Feeling that the Zooms are really inspiring and lifting me. The past few weeks, they have more been pulling down on me. I think, like you said in the beginning, it is all about trust and confidence and finding it first in yourself. But sometimes I think now, because I'm just in wind, it's my first mandala experience also. It's more like, how can I focus on this positive energy and maybe block for myself the negativity from other sisters in my mandala when they are down or having troubles or whatever, that I can focus on my positivity. Because for me, it's now sometimes a bit hard to connect every time with them, because they're also not all close to me physically. But when I find time for a Zoom with them, it's sometimes very difficult because it's also a lot in French, and my French is not good. So it's already taking a lot of energy for me to listen. So if you have some wisdom and some positive ideas about that, they are very welcome. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Chloe. I really appreciate what you're sharing, and I'm very appreciative that you share it here and now in this gathering, because the what you are describing is something that I'm sure everyone who has had some longer period of experience can say they have experienced at some time or another. Would you say, everybody? Yeah. So here's, I shared earlier that I'm currently traveling in 4 mandalas. I have actually been involved in gifting circles for over 8 years. And the first gifting circle that I joined in, the gift was $5,000. And the invitation to join that activity came to me when I was in a really unstable place. It was incredible how unstable and how not, it so did not make sense for me to say yes to this, but I felt the yes. It was like, yes, these are my people. This is where I want to be. These are the people I want to connect with. And so I said yes. And the moment I got my yes, everything fell into place. I was able to come up with that incredible gift and give it to a woman I had never met before. And then from then on, every single time that I have gotten a yes to join in a gifting activity, that has been my experience, that everything comes together. And then those challenges like you're describing come up, and somebody's just in a bad mood, or they're so focused on how they can't invite, or it's too much time, you know, commitment to get on a Zoom, or it's my life's too busy, or whatever. Some of those things creep in, right? And we experience that. And sometimes the participants in this activity will bring that with them, and they'll bring it into the activity with, here's what I keep reminding myself every single time this comes up, because it has come up multiple times. Every single time it comes up, it is reminding me that there is some opportunity here, one, for me to look at what is out of alignment, or what is unstable in my own life, in my own thoughts, in my own relationships with family, friends, coworkers, colleagues, you know, whatever the list may be. So I get to look at what inside of me is magnetizing my experience with the negativity that someone else is bringing in. That's my first thing. The other thing is, it gives me an opportunity to go back to, why in the world am I doing this? Right? Have you ever felt that? There are moments it's just like, what the heck am I doing? Why am I getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to join with these people that I haven't, you know, they're spread all over the planet, and, you know, some of them I've never even met before. I'm getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to have, you know, an hour and a half to 2 hour conversation. Crazy. And just like Beatrice said earlier, it's because of the love of this purpose. It's more than a vision. It's more than an activity. It's more than a movement. It is all about our being, our purpose on the planet. It's really, really vital. And so when you come across those moments where you have those negative inputs and you just would love to, you know, stop. I don't want your negativity. I've been in that place on many occasions with all of the years of traveling, you know, in this way. And it gives me that opportunity to go back to that original yes. The very first time a woman came to me and said, I want to share with you this community that I'm a part of, and I would love to have you come and join us. And she told me all about it. And from the moment she opened up, I started burning within, and I had my yes. And every single time that another friend of mine said, I want you to come and look at this because you've been doing big gifting circles for all these years. Well, look at this one. And I want you to see what this is about. And she invited me. And it was just like on the Zoom, I had my yes, totally had my yes. So when those opportunities where somebody comes up with a contrast, that comes up, when that comes up, then it's an opportunity for me to go back to, why am I doing this? Yeah, I got my yes. I am in this movement. I am a key player in the evolution of humankind. That's what I'm here for. And so all the negativity that somebody brings in, and believe me, I've had some really good ones. Oh my goodness, I can tell you stories. And with every single one of those, what I realize is that it's an opportunity for me to, every time I've had the water experience, it is about really being in that water energy of flow. So somebody's having a bad day, somebody's bringing their negativity with them. As I flow the water energy in me, and I acknowledge the water energy, that negativity just flows. It's somebody's moment. That's what they're sharing in the moment. Celebrate it. It's one of the ways that I've been able to look at that kind of experience and even enjoy it is to consider that, sorry, my buzzer is going off, is to consider that I must be a really safe person. I must be really grounded in this movement for somebody to show up with their negativity and share it in my presence. That's an honor. That tells me that where I am and what I'm offering to my community in the mandala must be so completely honorable and valuable, because somebody is bringing their negativity to give me a contrast about what I know works and doesn't work, and also to be transmuting and transforming their own energy by bringing that negativity there, and then my holding that space and being the water energy and the fire energy that burns it off, the water energy that flows it, the the earth energy that gives loving, nurturing support for them, and the wind energy that invites. So all of those energies coming together in me when I really embody it and embrace it and let it flow and share and integrate in me and from me to the group, then that negativity that I'm experiencing becomes one, it very often it will dissipate and just dissipate, even almost, you know, without even thinking about it. And two, it also provides for that that person or those people who are bringing that in an opportunity to do their own process, because they have a process that they are needing to do. When I hold the space and I'm really embracing all of the elements, then their process getting that negativity out, letting it flow, releasing it, burning it off, all of that becomes much more possible because I am holding the ground, I'm holding the space for them to do that. So one of the things that came up in one of the mandalas that I'm currently water in, there were some people that were sharing some things on the chat that were concerns or even complaints about what they were experiencing and how they felt about the mandala, and questioning because they kind of wandered away from their yes, and they were questioning, you know, their activity in the mandala. And one of the beauties of this lineage that I'm currently in with this particular mandala is that we have elder sisters who are women who have been through the entire process, all four elements, and then act as guardians and give wisdom and support in the ether element. And so one of the elder sisters, guardian sisters, gave some direction and simply said, the chat is not the place for this. The chat is entirely for sharing just the most high vibration, completion focused language. That's what the chat is for. And when you have a concern, when something comes up, you share it in your triad. So the reason that we have this structure of the triads, it helps to give us that space where we can work through things, because we are all working on our stuff, and our stuff is going to come up. We are going to have triggers. And when we share that in our triads, then we're in that forum that allows for the working through of that process of whatever negativity is coming up. And then when necessary, then you call a Zoom together to address this in the whole group so that you can work through it and address whatever the concerns are, and whatever needs to be said is said. And so we did all of that with these couple of women that were having some concerns or complaints. And in that process, I was able, as the water woman, I held the space, and my two earth women were absolutely phenomenal and provided the structure and that space for all of that to be dealt with. And I kept getting encouragement from one of my guardian sisters saying, people will just be people. People are going to have their good days and their bad days, and some people do things that are just different from the way that you do things. So I kept reminding myself of that after I got this, very wise counsel from my guardian sister, and recognizing that some people do things just in a way of what to me feels like and looks like really negative, but it's the way they process. And so it is. And I get to allow that. I get to allow people to show up the way that they show up. And when I allow myself to allow that, and I allow myself to be a witness without getting triggered or embroiled in it or entangled in whatever details are going on, when I simply allow myself to observe, to witness, and then to embrace it and celebrate it, then it's so much easier for that transmutation to happen for those people who are needing the transmutation. For me, who is asking for, an advancement in my energy and my consciousness to go beyond the need to have somebody all, a certain way, and letting go of that expectation that somebody or something has to be a certain way. That's really maybe that's what these people, these participants are asking of you, Chloe, is that they're asking you to acknowledge your water element, your water energy, and allowing that to flow. That's a possibility. You are so welcome.
I would like to also bring we were talking about the power of the yes, that energy that brought us into the mandala. And the mandala is, as life, is the perfect place to put into practice this divine gift of the free will. So the let go of a mandala, where you feel for some reason you get to a point where you are not feeling honored and that you cannot honor others, is also very powerful. Sometimes the mandala brings us into a situation which is the repetition of an abusive situation that we have allowed ourselves to be in for I don't know how many years. And the mandala now is recreating that. So from our inner power and the use of our free will, we decide simply to let go, because we have decided that this situation, we will not honor that anymore in our lives. So the let go is also very powerful. The movement is perfect, because some people say, yes, but I've given the money. Well, that work on your detachment, then you'll realize how much attachment one feels to loads of different things. And what happens when you feel attached and when you can't let go is that you are in a prison. The mandala can be a prison if you don't use your free will to really do what your heart tells you to do. Maybe you are not yet ready to do the movement, and that's okay. Nobody's judging you. Obviously, nobody's judging you, and obviously you shouldn't be judging you. So I've given loads of yes, and I've let go of several mandalas where I could not, and with that, I was humble with myself, saying, I cannot fulfill the dream of the water because I don't connect with the water for some reason. Yeah. So I acknowledge that in me. I see where it takes me in my life, because we remember that the mandala is always a reflection of our life. It can be past, it can be present, but it's always reflecting something. Yeah. And there, when we have that information, we are free to use our free will and do what our heart tells us to do. And let go is fantastic, because if you cannot invite people, or you cannot feel the connection with the water to magnetize a fire, then recognize it, acknowledge it, be honest, and let go of that wind space, so another person can come and actually make the dream of the water come true. And that's okay too. You don't lose anything, because you can go on a fusion into another mandala. The movement is so perfect that if you really connect to abundance and let go of any sense of loss, only by acknowledging that whatever happens in your life is always perfect, you also have that option, that to let go, because you can't connect with the water. We say in our mandalas, we say the wind is the voice of the dreams of the water. So if you cannot connect with the water, maybe it's not happening. So letting go is also brilliant, because you get, some people say to me, how can you let go of the wind? I invited you, you are such a powerful woman, blah, blah, blah. So, but this is not about that. This is about being honest to myself in the situation I'm in this mandala. The 4 agreements make it really easy, because it's not personal. I have nothing against you. I have nothing against anybody, but I just feel that using my honesty towards myself, this is not my place, and I choose to let go. So somebody else can come and really help the mandala move, because that's the point. The point is mandalas move, not that we are stuck there like, oh my God, I'm stuck with my family forever. And maybe the mandala can reflect that. I've had loads of that in my mandalas, because I felt like that with my family. And now in my water, oh my God, I have 3 earths. So that's like, I've complained. I didn't complain, but I always had this thing with my parents. It was a lifetime work for me to accept my parents. The earth represents the parents, and now I have 3. I have 3 earth, and it's like, wow, amazing. They're all going on holiday, and I'm just flowing with it. I'm accepting, because in this mandala, the wisdom that I have to embrace in my life is acceptance. In other mandalas, it wasn't like that. So I would recommend that you get into your wind, really get inside you, see how you feel about your water, see how you feel about the dream of your water, see if you really can connect. And if you don't, just let go, because weaving is not about suffering. It's about enjoying. It's about being honest and not putting yourself into any type of pedestal because you are this or that. Because in one mandala I brought 6 people. Well, and in the other one I couldn't even invite one. It's about being honest, seeing who you are, accepting your reflections, all of them, the ones you love and the ones you don't like that much, not judging yourself. And let go. Detachment is a beautiful medicine. Beautiful. Because when you let go of something that you can't vibrate with, it means that vibration is going to come to your life, because you have identified that you only want to go with high vibration or your vibration, and that's okay. Maybe it's because you're not ready. There was a mandala where I was not ready, and I let go because I acknowledged that to myself. I'm not ready to go through this. But that's okay, because weaving is about being honest, being our true self to ourselves and to others, and that's okay. Because we don't take anything personal, we don't judge and are not judged, we just us in our shining, beautiful light, who we are, and that's okay. So that's my sharing for you, Chloe.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Beatrice. And thank you, Chloe, for sharing that. And what a beautiful, authentic way for us to be able to acknowledge the wholeness of the mandala movement. I'm just reading some of the comments. Thank you, Jacob. Yeah, allowing and witnessing. Yep, that's a big part of our. I have years and years ago, when I first began my journey as a healer, being trained in healing processes, I was trained in 7 principles of creation, and so I've recently added an 8th principle. There's different elements that are so that are vital to our creation: thought and perception and choice and accountability and the law of cause and effect, and all of these beautiful principles. I've recently added an 8th one because I have discovered that celebration is absolutely essential. Like, I noticed this when years and years ago, let's see, almost 30 years ago, I first homeschooled my older children that I raised, and in that experience, I had the opportunity to witness how children learn. And then I noticed, well, this is not just children. This is how we all learn. We learn by one, and thank you, Penelope, for having us stand up at, halfway point and move our bodies, because that's one of the key elements that I learned about how we learn and actually integrate information. So when there are 2 ingredients that really help to embed information in our cells. So it's not just something that stays out in in our field or our conscious awareness, but also it's something that we bring in and literally write it in our cells so that it becomes part of our concrete memory and integrates into our physical life. So movement and emotion. When we experience something or do something that is powered with emotion, like if it's something that I do out of anger, that's a really strong emotion and it can really embed the information for me. If I do something in joy, that's a really powerful feeling, and it can help to bring that information into my physicality. Then and then moving is the physical movement is what it's like. It acts like a vacuum. It takes all of this information that's floating out here, because we've been talking a lot today. So so all this information is kind of floating around us in our fields, and our mind is kind of processing it, and from time to time our emotions come up. And thank you, Beatrice and Chloe, for sharing with emotion. That is so valuable. And when are you going? Oh, Just acknowledging. Okay. When that emotion comes up, that also that helps to bring that in. But in that movement, the physical movement can bring in, cause that magnetizing of that information to almost like a vacuum. It's sucked into our physicality and it's brought into the body and stored in the cells so that it really becomes a part of us. And so movement is an absolutely essential part of how we actually integrate any kind of information. So as we share today, we have a lot of opportunity to be with this energy and the insights and the wisdom that's been shared so far. And when we have that and we move with it, it helps to bring that in. And so we've had a huge amount of learning today, an absolutely holistic, amazing, beautiful learning. And with that, we can, for me, it's the beginning of the day, and I get to go here because I get to go teach a bunch of middle school and high schoolers today. I'm substituting for my for one of the schools that I substitute in. And with that beginning of this day and this opportunity that we brought all this in, the way to seal that integration is with celebration. Even if it's like, great job, oh my goodness, that is enough of a celebration that it seals that information, that experience, and everything that we've gained from this sharing this morning or today, whatever time it is for you. Sealing that energy and that information in the cell memory happens with the celebration. And so that's why I've added this 8th portion to that, those principles of creation, is that celebration is a really key part of how we integrate our learning and really make it a part of us. So thank you. Thank you all. We are just about at our 2-hour mark. And Penelope, any further direction for us today?
That's a very good question. I'm just trying to write down what you last said. Sealing in with celebration to integrate the learning. Yes, okay. Well, I would love to conclude with some movement in that can't talk, I can just celebrate.
Okay.
I can't.
Penelope, you keep cutting out.
Well, I had a small thing that I could share, but it's a question mark. So I can always around that. Okay, I'll try to do an ultra short share. And I don't even know if you can hear me. I am looking forward to this recording so that I can catch everything that I missed, including myself, if my transmission is bad, which I hope it isn't. Just so that you might look at the title and say, well, what was all that about? This wild and subtle alchemical conversion. And I think alchemy happens all the time, like the way telepathy. This happens. So this happens all the time. It's whether or not you recognize this and you allow this in your perceived, paradigm of reality. We all have a personal one as well as apparently collective one. Anyway, for me, it was just observing the very subtle alchemy that transpires, that I have noticed in certain people being like a magnet for people to say yes to whatever they propose. And, especially something like dream weaving it is on the edge. It is is touching a lot of people's triggers. One big piece that I realized, well, whatever it is, as much as I'm inspired by it, and of course, yes, of course, I would love to have this ability, but I am what I am, and I may be that too. I don't see myself the same way that others see me, but might be what it's. And this was the greatest joy and kind of liberation, as Yuzane touched on. It's just whatever it's going to look like. It's going to be a journey, just as surely as I gave a yes, like the way you said it, Kana, the way your first initiation into fire was. Wow, you know, what a moment for you to be giving a yes, and knowing that it was a yes, that in itself was enough, even if physically nothing, you know, carried on. But for me, it was similar. It resonated with me. Whatever other external failings I had, I know myself intuitively when it is a yes. And just as surely as I said yes, you know, there are my sparks, my flames out there. I just haven't yet cracked my code, as it were. I haven't yet cracked my code of how I blow. And you know, coming from fire so recently, it's like I'm nearly in a rush, you know, and I want to fulfill my two new sparks. So just that's it. Just to say that, yeah, along with not being attached to how it should look like, there's also this wonder and curiosity. Like, if I don't know if any of you paint, but you know, when looking at a canvas and starting to make marks on paper and feeling like, oh, that's not going the way I want it to go, and it's like, well, that kind of attitude will be very short-lived. And rather an attitude of, I wonder, what is it that wants to be painted today through me? You know, so I wonder what this blowing journey will look like for me. I just keep on, I keep learning, because as you said, as so many have said, you know, when you encounter negativity, it's a reflection of something in the other, but something that is active in me as well. So there's so much more to learn and to grow. And that's why I'm on this journey, because I recognize the benefits, right? It is a self-development process. And as I go along, this is the self-development I was asking for. Yeah, I might have burned my way through fire. Here's wind, here's the next one. And I might blow my way through this one, then the next one. And it's externally easier. It's like toned, and I'm ready for the next phase now. So it's just not forgetting that. That's all. I'm complete. Thank you so much. Hope it's clear.
Wonderful. Thank you, Penelope. And just as we did last time, let's everybody go off of mute and have a moment of celebration. We have completed an absolutely phenomenal 2 hours of connecting and receiving and sharing. So yay! Woo! Love this. Everybody go off mute so we can hear you.
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
we
for-
get to hear your voices. Fantastic. I love it, Carlos.
Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. And thank you, Beatrice and Isanette. Oh my goodness, we've had such amazing sharing this morning. And thank you, Penelope, for all of the effort and the work that you put forth. I would like to know, Chloe and Jacob and Carlos, are you all on the Telegram chat? The what is it? The Wild Alchemy conversion?
Me, not yet. I didn't install Telegram, but
Oh, so you're
yeah,
you're on the WhatsApp?
I'm still on WhatsApp, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for
Okay.
me
But
too.
I'm looking forward to connect to some more groups that are, you know, like horizontal groups for winds and so on.
So are you in
yeah.
the horizontal airs on WhatsApp?
Not yet. Not yet. I want to start joining to these different chats. Right now, I'm chatting only in my mandala and in my triad.
Okay. All right.
Hmm?
Well, I thoroughly enjoy meeting my brothers and sisters across the planet, and would love to stay in contact. So if you are on any of those chats, then we will certainly meet up and connect in that way. So good deal. Penelope, thank you.
God, thank you so much. What a way to wake up.
Yes,
Thank you for
and now I'm fully prepared and ready to go out in the day and meet my classrooms full of teenagers.
Yeah. I suppose having a big open heart right now, as hopefully you're going away with, will definitely be fuel for the fire.
Definitely. Thank you all. All right, it's time for us to sign off, and thank you all for being here, and thank you, Penelope, for all your efforts and
Thank you.
connection.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Jacob. Chloe,
Thank you.
have a beautiful day, evening, wherever you